in his career, and the first time on a big stage. Mensur Suljovic in the hunt for a second PDC title of his career. The first one came on the European Tour at the back end of last year. He has made 3 Euro Tour finals and is 6 legs away, potentially, from making it 4. Cristo Reyes, it has already turned into a massive weekend for the Spartan, getting his first ever victory over Peter Snakebite Wright, booking his place at this stage of the tournament for the first time on the Euro Tour. Could he go all the way and claim a first PDC title, beating the number 2 seed and the number 3 seed and potentially the number 1 seed along the way? What an effort it would be, but he has given himself an opportunity to do just that. I'm Dan Dawson. We've got 2,500 fans packed into the Innis Park Halle in Hamburg for this one, and Rob Malarkey's in the commentary box for this, the opening semi-final, Suljovic against Reyes.
Really looking forward to this one, Dan. 2 players who've had very, very similar passages to this stage of the tournament. Both players winning their opening 2 matches 6-5. And then both players winning their quarterfinals by 6 legs to 3, although you could say the similarities end there. Reyes has pulled off a significantly higher average over the course of the tournament. He's rattled in 13 180s this weekend as well, but we don't expect Mensur Suljovic to pile on the 180s. Suljovic, Van Dijvenbode, Gurney, both 6-5, Chizzy 6-3. Reyes beating Aspinall 6-5. Peter Wright 6-5 was the first real indication that something special might happen this weekend for him, and Stephen Bunting 6-3 in the quarter-final earlier this evening.
Well, Cristo Reyes and Mensur Suljovic have both had to survive match darts to get to this stage. Peter Wright had a couple against Cristo. Mensur Suljovic had to survive a couple from Dirk Van Dijvenbode in his opening game yesterday. But you need a bit of luck sometimes to go on and win tournaments. And if they do go on and win, it won't say the champion asterisk, by the way Dirk Van Dijvenbode could have beaten him. It'll just say the champion.
Or, and by the way, if Aspinall hadn't messed around in the 8th leg of their one, he would have had a 5-3 lead and probably would have gone on and won it.
Mensur sticks one in the skinny bit of the 5, but well, making a real mess of this.
45.
Just the 45 scored. Better from Cristo.
140.
Yes, well, drags himself back into this one. 2 shots at getting the treble 20 he needs. And he's got it for double 18.
A shot to the first leg, Cristo Reyes. Game.
15 dart hold of throw to kick things off from Mensur Suljovic. He's been averaging 96. Just shy of 93 for the tournament, Mensur. Compare that to more than 99 for Cristo. And it did dip towards the end of his quarter-final win over Stephen Bunting to just over a ton, but for large parts of it, he was averaging 110. It was Van Gerwen-esque from the man from Tenerife. Now we've got the old German chant of hello upstairs, hello downstairs, hello upstairs, hello downstairs. They give himself a big clap at the end of this. It's one of the friendliest chants in darts. It's not that one where like the tables and the stands start slagging each other off about who's got the most money.
Well, these two will take home a few £1,000. £6,000 for losing semi-finalists, £10,000 if you make the final, 25 big ones if you take the trophy as well. But the significance, or the greater significance, is the
100.
impact it has on your ranking.
Well, and the everlasting glory.
And the everlasting glory, the silverware, the chance to etch your name into the European Tour Roll of Honour. Suljovic has been here before, of course. Made the final in Gibraltar last time out. Semi-finalist in Hildesheim at the end of last year. Won one of these last year as well.
Bullseye for Mensur for 1-2-1. And there it is, a 12-dart leg, a big ball finish. And the Austrian, well, is he timing this right? He did look laboured against Dirk van Dijvenbode at times, but battled past him. He struggled at times against Daryl Gurney, but fought past him. He got better for his game against Dave Chisnell, averaging in the mid-90s. And if he is getting better and better and better as the tournament goes on, then Mensur might have worked out the formula for claiming a second PDC and indeed Euro Tour title. I know it's early days, it's only the start of the third leg, but he is averaging 111.
Suljovic, though, with some Michael Smith-style finishing so far in this semi-final. Smith was 5 from 5 in his quarter-final. Made a real dog's dinner of the last one, but came through anyway. Ended up 6 from 16, but he was just so precise and efficient and crisp. And Suljovic so far, well, we've seen some brilliant finishing this weekend. Suljovic has weighed in with his fair share as well, but already 116 and a 121.
140.
Had a 161 as well against Gurney.
60.
Earlier today, that was for a break of throw and for a 5-3 lead as well. It was a really timely 161 as well. It really hurt Daryl Gurney at that particular stage, but he responded well. And then he had that 68 check out to finish it off against Chizzy. 5-13 bull, as only Mensur could do.
Yes, I don't think that was the original plan, to be honest, but it was effective enough.
59.
Well, this is a real chance for Cristo to break straight back. And as good as Mensur has been in the opening couple of legs, oh well, Cristo, again, his setup shot isn't what he would have wanted from himself. He leaves 1-3-1. Not easy.
So you're 131.
Various routes for this, but it looks like treble 20 first up, and he hits that, so 71 left. Oh, now single 18 will leave tops. Mensur, bull double 16, hits the 25, it'll be 17 tops, so could get 2 darts at a double, may only get the 1. Oh, it is 2.
Well, he has missed the dart at a double. First one of this semi-final, and he's missed 2. So he was 2 from 2, he's now 2 from 4.
Double 10 for the break back. Double 5. Game on. And Cristo Reyes will now throw to level things up. Mensur Suljovic, 2 darts missed for a 3-0 lead. That wouldn't have been terminal. It would have put a severe dent in Cristo Reyes' hopes of making a first ever PDC final.
96.
Cristo has been seeded around the 15 and 16 mark for so long, and he keeps running into Michael van Gerwen and Peter Snakebite Wright. But in Gibraltar, which is as close to a hometown tournament as Cristo is going to get, the man from Tenerife, I mean, he's still got to get a flight there, but it's as close as he's going to get to a hometown tournament in the PDC. Michael van Gerwen wasn't there, and it opened up the door because he had Mensur Suljovic in the last 16, and maybe it was his chance, but it didn't turn out that way. Mensur beat him. And that means that he's 3-all in the head-to-heads between these two, because going into that match, Cristo had won the previous 3. And he'd won a couple of them pretty convincingly, 6-1 and 6-2.
Suljovic winning both their previous encounters on the European stage. As Reyes, well, this weekend, 180s have not been a problem for him.
Well, it's taken him 4 legs to hit one here, but that is his 14th this weekend, and this might be Mensur's first of this one, not to be. For the 1-3-2. Oh, another one, or is it the 14s? It is the 14s, but he couldn't find the treble.
84.
Been a weekend of big checkouts. But we won't see one here.
So Reyes is poised and ready to
64.
pull the trigger here and
48.
get himself back level at 2 apiece. So maybe,
You require 97.
maybe another break of throw on the cards here. Mensur Suljovic with 97 to find.
Needs to hit this treble 18. And he doesn't, so the chance just gone.
57. Cristo, you require 32.
For a level game. And the Spaniard hits double 16. It's 2 apiece.
The flag Mensur to throw first.
Just beginning to bubble up nicely, this one now. Well, George Noble's in charge, so it must be 6-5.
440.
Well, look, Mensur spent ages trying to make a PDC final. Ages. It took him 12 semi-final appearances before he finally learnt to win. Yeah, to get over that line and make the final. Once he did, very quickly won one. Admittedly, it was one of those days when Kim Huybrechts decided to be very generous and miss a load of match darts, just as he did for Peter Hudson the other day. But missed 7 championship darts in that Euro Tour final against Mensur Suljovic, and he claimed his first PDC title. Cristo Reyes will be hoping he does not have to go through the same sort of semi-final apprenticeship that Mensur Suljovic went through, because it could be years
A long wait
before he makes a first final in that case.
Well, he's 30 years old later this year, Reyes, and if that is the case, it might be coming when he's roughly 40 years old.
Only made the one semi-final before. That was almost a year ago in a floor event. He was beaten by Joe Cullen in that semi-final.
78.
Well, no treble here. Well, he does get one, and an important one at that. Leaves him 80, which should give him 1 dart for the leg at least. Oh, look at this, Cristo. Look at this, Cristo. It's a magnificent setup shot. His setup shots earlier on in the game were not particularly good. That was perfect. And it piles on the pressure.
1 dart at tops here for Suljovic. Oh, but pressure, what pressure. And there's the other Suljovic celebration in the repertoire. 2 nods of the head, 1 to the camera, 1 to the crew.
81.
Savagely shutting the door in Cristo's face after a magical setup shot. And still Mensur averaging higher than he has all weekend. Maybe he is timing his run, getting better and better as the tournament goes on. This is a little bit below what Cristo has been averaging for the tournament, but there's still time for that to improve.
140.
Certainly will do if he starts hitting 180s as he has been doing over the course of this. 60% for Mensur. I mean, that is world class, but it's not surprising with Mensur. Here we go. Here we go. 180 number 1 for the Austrian. Two legs for Mensur, then 2 legs for Reyes. It could well be 2 legs for Mensur again here, forcing Reyes to battle back.
Yeah, he doesn't get many 180s, but he tends to time them well. And
56.
he's got one on the Reyes throw here, but he backs it up with only 56, and he's left himself a bogey number as well. So
134.
Reyes has capitalised there to some extent.
Yeah, he certainly has. And an important that you go 1 treble just to get to a finish, but a second one makes that a heck of a lot easier. Oh, Mensur, how frustrating to leave a bogey number when you do that, but he sets it up perfectly. Cristo Reyes. You've seen Mensur take out a couple of big finishes against him. Can he fire a ton plus back at him? He could.
Yep. 45 away. Double 16. Ooh, just inside the wire. And Suljovic can consolidate or can find a break or throw again here. Poised, ready, and on target. And there is just a little bit of daylight now between these two, as there was at the very outset. 2-0 he led. Reyes hit back, and now Suljovic leads once more 4-2.
So playing Mensur to throw
Clusters.
first. Game on.
of games, legs being won here in this semi-final. 2 for Suljovic, 2 for Reyes, 2 for Suljovic. Reyes needs to find a response here.
96.
But Mensur knows if he can find a 12-dart leg here, then he's going to go 5-2 up, and Cristo would have to win 4 on the spin. Unless, of course, maybe a 12-darter on your own throw is not enough. There is only one situation where that is the case.
Mensur targeting a 180 on his own throw this time, after Reyes had opened up with one of his own.
Well, now Mensur knows a 12-darter is enough, and he's given himself an opportunity with that maximum, because he has 5-2 in his sights.
Just typical Mensur Suljovic, that.
85 left after 9, and I can tell you now, Mensur Suljovic will be going treble 19 for double 14. Sure he will. It's Mensur.
He does surprise us from time to time, and he has done this time as well. Well, this time now he's looking at double 16.
53.
Well, Mensur, you do what you like, mate.
You're a semi-finalist on the Euro Tour stage once again. You can do what you like. Reyes though on 193 here, so Suljovic will be back at double 16.
60. When she requires
I would have
32.
had a significant amount of cash on that coming off.
Well, double 16,
But there you go, that's me.
and double 16 is there. It is a 13-dart leg for Mensur Suljovic, and the Austrian is closing in on a 4th appearance in a Euro Tour final. Back-to-back 13 darters for Mensur Suljovic. He is averaging 102.5. He has got better and better as this weekend has gone on. He may have to save his best for the final, because Michael Smith or Michael van Gerwen awaits the winner of this one, and it is looking increasingly likely that Mensur Suljovic will be that man.
Yeah, and if that's the case, if Suljovic does win, whoever he faces, he's got
34.
history with both of them. Very recent history with Michael Smith as well on the European Tour.
Of course, it could be a repeat of the final from Gibraltar just a couple of weeks ago.
81.
But he's got to get the job done yet. Cristo Reyes, we've just seen the Rock, Peter Hudson, win 4 consecutive legs against the greatest player in the world right now, Michael van Gerwen.
135.
Cristo Reyes, a man who's been averaging almost 100 right the way through this weekend, is certainly capable of winning 4 legs on the spin against anybody.
Yeah, well, let's not lose sight of the fact he was 5-3 up against Daryl Gurney. Gurney came back to force a decider.
100. So you're at 132.
So Mensur will be wise to the possibility of that happening again.
69 left, I believe. Oh, hang on.
82.
No, 7 to remain.
Oh, there we go. Beg your pardon. Good job Cristo's doing the counting.
45. So you require 50.
So, Cristo Reyes, 18 for double 16. To get one of the 4 legs he needs.
18.
2 darts missed, and Mensur's been left with the Della.
38.
Wouldn't put it past him. Well,
52. So you require 32.
well, there's a lot on this for Cristo Reyes.
And shot in the play, Cristo Reyes.
Cristo Reyes does
I think Mensur
take us into a 9th leg.
Huge leg this. Once again, Mensur is faced with that equation. Throw a 12-darter and try and take it out of your opponent's hands. Does that, he'll be in the final. He now knows that.
58.
Cristo Reyes. It's been an incredible weekend for him. A first ever victory over Peter Wright. First time he's found himself in the final session of action in a European Tour event, and only the 2nd time he's found himself in a PDC semi-final.
134.
Cristo continues to make strides, gradual gains and gradual improvements in his darts career. moving on up the world rankings.
42.
He'll move up on the order of merit that determines the seedings for this as well, and that could make things easier for him in tournaments to come. Maybe avoiding the likes of Peter Wright and Michael van Gerwen for an extra round, potentially.
Yeah, it's all career-enhancing stuff.
But he's come up against Mensur Suljovic, who has become, as we said, this is very much his domain nowadays. And Cristo Reyes looks to the skies because the end may be nigh for the Spaniard. A trudge to the back of the stage. It's not going to end in this visit.
But there is a lot of points separating these two.
Even a maximum doesn't get him down to a finish, and he's only hit a couple of those, Cristo Reyes. It has not been the 180 hitting that we've seen from him early on in the weekend. Had we seen that, maybe this game could have been very different.
197.
But Mensur Suljovic, 97 points remain. Level 18. Well, a single 20. We'll leave him 3 darts at tops for a spot in the final. His 4th appearance in a Euro Tour final, to face either the greatest player in the world right now, Michael van Gerwen, or Michael Smith, the man who beat him in the final in Gibraltar last time out on the European Tour. Double top for the Austrian for 6-3. And it is there. Mensur Suljovic just had too much for Cristo Reyes, and the Spartans' dreams of a first ever PDC final ended by the top player from Austria. Still a huge weekend for Cristo Reyes. Suljovic finishing with an average of 99, and it was Mensur-like finishing, wasn't it? 62.5% on the doubles for Mensur Suljovic as he catapults his flights into the crowd. The headbutts out, the cheering's out. Mensur giving it the full Suljovic celebration. We'll grab a quick couple of words with him, and then we will find out who else will contest the final at the Happy Bet European Darts Matchplay. It is either the 15-time Euro Tour title winner Michael van Gerwen, the world #1, or the 4-time Euro Tour title winner Michael Smith, the bully boy.
Das ist dem Mensch doch völlig wurscht, dann ist es mir auch egal. Gratuliere dir. Da fällt ein bisschen Druck auch ab, oder? Komm, gib mal Gas.
Zuerst danke, mein Freund. Druck ist immer da.
Trotzdem ein souveräner Halbfinalerfolg. Inzwischen dein 4. Finale auf der European Tour. Du hast damals so lange gebraucht, um den Schritt in das Finale zu schaffen. Weißt du noch, mit wie viel Halbfinalteilnahmen?
Ja, ich habe vor 2 Jahren oder letztes Jahr so viele Halbfinale, nicht eine. Dann bin ich ins Finale gekommen und habe gewonnen. Ich hoffe heute auch.
Mensur Suljovic! Mensur, klasse gemacht, alles Gute. Wir sehen uns später wieder im Finale.